Um, so I had a bit of a deep realization with myself earlier today. Very, a very, a very outlandish one, but a very necessary one. Some I haven't thought about till recently. I've started committing this flagrant of an act. Um, the grocery store. It's a place for to get your groceries. Now, there's still a way to do things. Not to generalize, but I realize I've committed an act the past 2 or 3 times I've been to the grocery store. And I feel like it's a PSA message to all of us men out here. And I take pride in being the outspoken one, of being the one where you say the thing that maybe people don't think about in the moment, but after they hear me say it, every time they see that instance now, all they're going to think of is me. And it's going to pop in their head like captions in a Marvel comic book when they were still, respectable. Men in baskets should never be a thing. A man should never be seen carrying a basket around, especially at the grocery store. Those plastic baskets. And I have committed. I've been a repeat offender. I'm a serial basket carrier. And I get the convenience, right? You're not going deep grocery shopping. If you're going to spend 20-ish bucks in that area, chances are all the stuff could fit in a basket. You don't want to get a big ass cart, but you also don't want to get that small little Element box car little fucking cart either, because it's still like, I'm not rolling this fucking high heel little Spark around. Like, by the way, what happened to the kids carts? The one that had like the ones from movie, they would have like movie character plastic carts where the kid could and act like he's riding a car and shit. And now they don't even do that. By the way, I don't even see kids. I don't even think parents really bring their kids to the grocery store. And if they do, they don't even put them in the carts anymore. But hey, neither here nor there. This is single man problems. But yeah, look, a man should never carry those baskets around at the grocery store. The only exception you should see a man carrying a basket is maybe a picnic, right? But you should only be carrying the basket, walking from the vehicle to the grass, wherever you have your situation laid out. But you know what's involved with that? At least should be involved? A lady. And maybe, and if you're at the grocery store, maybe if you're with a lady, it's okay to carry a basket around. But chances are, if you're going to be with a lady, you're going to get more than food for one person. So you know what? The solution is either get a fucking cart or carry the shit. I would rather you be struggling to carry 18 things in your arms than to fucking see you in a basket. There's just some unsettling. And this is coming from someone when I was halfway grocery shop. I remember exactly where I was when I had this epiphany. I was getting myself my creamy peanut butter that I eat out of the jar. Yes, I eat spoonful out of the jar. I eat peanut butter out of the jar. And I'm not ashamed of it. I don't need the bread. The peanut butter is what I'm there for. The peanut butter is the only thing I'm going to put on both sides. And I don't need the bread. And I'm not anti-bread. I'm not anti-gluten. I just, bread is like, if you're not going to eat a loaf of bread in like a week, it's going to go bad. It's just an inefficient price thing. Even though it is perfect for baskets. Both lightweight, like your boy. And Patty Bimlet before he binge eats. Yeah. So, moral of this is, men, if I see you with the basket in public, I'm going to hit it out of your hand. No, I'm not really going to do that. But it looks weird because, you're carrying him on your side. It's like you're doing side lunges Jesus, everything has to connect to the gym. But no, this is weird. It's like uneven. Do you carry with the left hand? Do you carry with the right? Do you carry in front like a little schoolgirl who's like, holding a little, her little lunchbox that she's in line for? It's just a weird thing. Like, and then especially when you put too much in the basket. Now you're a basket case. The title of this pod is going to be called Basket Case, or Men in Baskets. I don't know. But yeah. It's just an observation. You know me. This is the Off and Beat podcast with Clint Nelson. Welcome to the Off and Beat podcast with Clint Nelson. That was not a smooth transition. I was not planning to go ahead and introduce the pod, but I already said my name. And when I say my name, everyone is around you, especially when I send you I love you, and they're like, he's running game. I'm like, no, I just love you. Oh, he's running game. He's a fuck boy. It's like, are you trying to fuck the boy? But yeah, it is 12:15 p.m. Eastern, June 21st, 2022. Doing a technically doubleheader because I'm still awake in the same cycle that I did the first pod today. First time I've done a doubleheader pod in a long time. That just shows your boy has had time. And maybe I'll be driving too much. Maybe I need to stay at home more. But yeah, recording a doubleheader today. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell in the audio apps. No one cares a fuck about the video version. But you know what? The audio, we get some play. So you know what? Hit the notification bell on all apps. And so yeah, keep the support going. Appreciate it. But yeah, episode 154 is here. And guess what we have brought back? For the first time in 2 or 3 weeks, your boy is having his specialty Ghost energy drink. These have been sitting in my fridge for a while. Haven't really had a need to. But you know what? Doubleheader. I've done some good work today. My skin is burnt like a Usher's dick with trannies. Let it burn even when you want to, but you know that you gotta go. Body ain't jumping like he used to. Let it burn. I found that all it takes for my skin, and maybe it's for all people with my skin complexion. Maybe not all like my skin complexion, but I don't know how to technically word that correctly, but I definitely have fair skin, and I realize all it takes is an hour and 15 minutes of wearing a tank top for whatever skin is exposed from the shoulder and shit like that. The sun will get it. Even if it's not crazy hot, but just sunlight out. It's going to get it. Anything like 50 minutes or less, I may feel a little peel. I may feel a ooh. But anything, once you get to the hour 10, hour 15, it's over. You got to accept your fate the next day. That's why I'm finding out the hard way. I don't mind. Look, I've been burned a lot in my life, figuratively. But this one, it just goes to show. Oh, by the way, I don't know if it's technically the correct term, but I think I got DogCalled yesterday when I was walking to work. The ladies get catcalled, and I know it's not. I know being catcalled in today's world, it's not, smiled upon. But I will also say, catcalling exists because at one point in time, it worked. And it still works in some capacities. You got to know your environment. You got to know the ladies you are hollering at. The type of ladies. Type of ladies that would enjoy a nice catcall. Because you know what? Regardless, even the ones that are so defensive about it, you know what? I don't care who you are. Anytime someone says, damn, you fine. Like, even if that person's ugly as fuck, you're like, yeah, I know. I'm not taking these burns on the shoulders just for sport, baby. Um, no pain, no gain. Just hurry up before, the red starts selling. I'm seeing red. And well, I'd rather be my shoulders than, you. Um, oh, Clint, you're a nut job. And hopefully you get it done. Um, but no, I I think it's called dog call because I'm a guy and we're considered dogs, rough around the edges. Why do you hound us? Um, Also, dogs, they get little dog houses. I mean, we build little dog houses. They get little igloos. They get to go in. Hey, I get, humans, we get a house. I'm not asking to trade. Dogs have a pretty good deal. You know. Um, but no, I was walking. I was walking through the down. There's just like the small downtown area I have to walk through. It's a nice little shortcut to my job. I was walking down there. It's about probably like 3:30 ish, almost 4 o'clock. I'm walking through downtown, just minding my business, and I have my volume on low on my earbuds, just cause you gotta be aware of shit. I like to hear a little bit. I like to eavesdrop on people. And I passed by this BurgerFi place. And this BurgerFi place, it's like a 2-story, like a balcony area. And on the balcony area, I hear I hear a whistle. And I'm like, well, I know I can't whistle. But a whistle. That was too short to really get there. Okay. But no, I heard this whistle. And I heard it again. And I'm like, who the fuck is whistling this loud? I'm looking around. And I look up. And this lady says, hey, you. And I point at her in Clint fashion. Like, I don't, I get very uncomfortable with the compliment sentiment. So I always just kind of like, hey. I play the, hey. Ooh, hot stuff. Like, I'm nice about it. But I don't know how to progress it forward. It's kind of a flaw of mine. But I just look up and I just point. And I do the, hey there. And she said, you're cute. And I said, thanks. And remind you, I'm wearing a tank top. So I'm sweating. I'm burning. And I know I'm burning halfway through the walk. But I'm like, fuck it. But, and it was one of those things like, priorities. I need to get to work. But should I go up and chat with this gal? But she didn't progress it forward. But she hollered at me. She hollered. But it wasn't as aggressive as typically you would see a guy going after a girl type of thing. Because, she got my attention. But I also kind of just kept going. I just gave her a nice little wave and just kind of kept going. But, it was nice. I got dog called. And she looked like she could be a freak on a leash. I know, Clint, you're corny. But yeah. That's my small little trivial story about being dog called. See, and it's the beautiful things. And that would have never happened in Michael. When you're in your car, you have the windows up, you have air conditioning. No one's going out of the way to look through your window anyways. But it's weird. When I don't have a vehicle, the bitches want everything to fucking do with me. I get, it's like, ooh, he don't, like, they probably just assume I'm this broke ass motherfucker who is just this cute guy who walks and he's fit. Ooh, there's some, what they say about broke fit guys? They got that good neck strength. No, look, you guys know the stereotypes. I'm not gonna get into that. But, and I'm like, actually, no, I have a saving. I have a partial savings account. I have a car. It's just in the shop, but that's not something you say in passing to everyone. Like, I don't care to explain to people. Like, people want to think whatever this sad guy has to walk to work. It's like, whatever. I don't know. Just get my steps in. Maybe if you step in the name of love and stop being a judgmental, piece of shit, maybe you could just pull over and be like, "Hey, what's good, baby?" And I'll be like, "You tell me, baby, baby, baby." Um, Ashanti has a lot of songs with the word "baby" in it, in the song title, "Baby, baby, baby, oh baby." Um, uh, but I feel for the ladies. Because, it's a weird thing. Like, it was harmless. My situation, I was lucky. But I can understand how if you got hollered at all the time, it would probably get annoying. Especially if it's always from ugly ass dudes, right? I get it. Because, in a perfect world, you just have, like, all the really cute, attractive dudes. But in reality, an attractive dude probably doesn't think he has to do that shit. Like, because you will probably make more of an effort to make that process more easygoing. Where an ugly ass dude knows he has to have an exuberant confidence just to get your attention and to just really reach out to you and stand out. So, but when you get the guy that's attractive and does that, that's like, oh, baby, whatever you want. And that's when you get the situation of girls that just voluntarily like pay for everything with the guy and be with a bum ass dude who makes vehemently effort to do nothing. Because, he's so confident. It's like, hey, maybe if he exuded that confidence in applying for a job, why is he so insecure about, applying for a job? He's so confident in everything. But, he, you got to understand, he wakes up, he has a routine. He plays, he shoots, he does shoot around. He gets 1,000 jump shots a day. It's like, yeah, the dude's 35 and he hasn't played college ball since he was 22. So he's doing 1,000 shots a day for what? What is he staying in shape for? What is he, like a fitness influencer? Like, But look, no, I get it. I get the appeal. I get the struggle of what a woman that gets an attractive female gets. Now I get it. If I walked every day, I honestly feel like if I walked every day through that semi poppin' town at 4 p.m., I honestly feel like I would get some people pull over, holler, I would get a holler, or at least like a wave type of thing. Like, I get it. I'm a hunk. I'm a hunk of baby. And they can honk the horn. I'm talking about my dick. And like, I get it. But while I would also remind people, for people that complain about it, the only reason why us dudes do things over long periods of time and consistently do things that don't make sense to some, but it actually does, is because it works. You just got to keep on doing it till it does. Because the things that people complain about, the catcalling, the confidence to approach and all this stuff, the annoying, being a guy kind of negging and all this shit, like, the shit works. That's why it's a thing. And for people to complain about that, it's like, I get maybe it's not for you, but understand that the only reason why guys continue doing shit like this is because it has been rewarded, and it gets rewarded enough that we keep doing it. And I always use this analogy, and I get it. If you always reward your partner with sex when they do bad things that piss you off, what do you think they're going to continue doing? If you never have sex with them when they, tell you they love you when they come home from work and like, hey, baby, here's some roses, all this shit, like, oh, that's cool. But if you only fuck after an extreme big argument and you legitimately have hatred for this person, and they do things that piss you off and they know what they're doing, and then you award them with the only reason of why the fuck we're together in the first place, that's what men and women are together for, what do you think is going to continuously happen? If I do this one thing and I get what I want as a result of it, why the fuck am I not going to continue doing that thing? Fine, I take your bitching for 20 minutes. You tell me I ain't shit. But then when I'm fucking in the ass and you ain't shitting on my dick, I don't give a fuck. Hey. That got graphic. But you get the point. All right. The point is if I have been rewarded doing X, Y, and Z, it's like a child. If you reward me with candy and all this shit every time I do something, and I really like the candy, I'm going to keep doing that shit to get the candy. And now the problem is you rewarded me with unhealthy shit. And if I'm always getting rewarded with unhealthy shit, I'm going to have a relationship with unhealthy shit every time I do something good. So basically, it just cancels each other out all the time. It's a balance. All right? You know, sometimes you argue, you got to get out. But you know, sometimes when you have great disdain for what someone did, you don't reward them with that shit. You actually just, you know, communicate and talk or whatever. But hey, some people like to be catcalled. And as a man, I like being dog-called. The shit's kind of hot. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I'm starting to become like this 1980s traditional guy. Where, yeah, shout at me. Grab my dick in public. I don't give a fuck. Do what you gotta do. You know, approach her, approach him. Do the original. If we just went off more traditional things, I think a lot more people would be happy. If there wasn't this stigma to just be a person and to react to how you feel and make things fun and lighthearted instead of everything so serious, I really think everything would just be slightly more fun. People would be slightly more easygoing. People wouldn't be so butthurt or so afraid to do the simplest humans of interactions. Because you know what? She said, hey there. And it was fun. Nothing happened. I kept going to work. But hey, put a smile on my face. You know, she got out of her system. She felt free. It's not that holding in like, oh my God, I wonder if I'm ever going to see him again to holler. It's like, she don't have to worry about that because she did what she could. And you know what? The next time I see her, I may be like, hey, you. And she may be like, hey. Oh, I can't. Yo, eyes. You're like mini Thor without the trin. But, yeah. I'm just a dog. I was just a dog going for a walk in the park. But, you know, like when those dogs... You know, like when dogs run into each other, they just like, they just don't know what to do. It's almost like they run into, it's like if aliens were to adapt on this earth and they were to be domesticated. If aliens were just to be domesticated, we just had like pet aliens, right? Think of like Toy Story. You remember the toy alien? The like triplet twins were like, I can't even, I don't even remember the noise, but they're basically like Little Yoda's looking motherfucker. Imagine we just had like little aliens on a leash. And like, I don't know, a real alien came down, right? And you're just taking your little alien for a walk in the park. And then a real alien comes down. A non-domesticated, a non-neutered, a non-spayed alien. And they come down. And they see that alien, and the little domesticated, beaten down human pet alien sees that alien, but there's a tribal connection, even though they are completely different creatures at this point. One is fresh off the press, and the other has been processed in 85 million factories. And but when they see each other, it's like, yeah, they can't contain themselves. the one alien knows, like, oh my god, they changed you. Who are you? And then the little alien's like, who are you? Because they don't know any better. But when dogs see each other, it's just like, no matter what, you never see dogs that are mad at each other. No matter what breed. It's always weird also how, like, dogs, how come dogs and cats, when dogs and cats breed, well, obviously not with each other, otherwise that'd be cat dog. But when dogs breed with other dogs, it's like they're if you have like a Dalmatian mate with a golden retriever, I don't even know how it's possible. I've never seen that. I've never seen a Dalmatian golden retriever. Just stay with me. It's like it's literally like their body's like half and half. It'll be like half Dalmatian, and the right side, it's like some golden retriever mixed breed, whatever, right? But when humans breed, regardless if you're complete different races, if you're complete different body and bone structures, like typically the little human you create is like a balance of both. Like if a black and a white person have a baby, typically the baby's color is like somewhere in the middle. Not like not like Winnie Harlow where she has like white spots, but she's like mostly one color, but then she has like that condition shit. Not even trying to make fun of it, just using an example here. Dalmatian. But it's just kind of odd how it's crazy how we're like similar species. Men are called dogs, but yet when we breed, imagine if we just had humans come out that were just like weird, that just had like weird spots and stripes and weird patterns. Like even if two parents are like exactly compatible in the most basic sense, the kid could come out and look non-basic, if that makes sense. There's so many things. Like you could have you could have like 130-pound genetically very thin, very low muscle building, very thin, frail guy, and a very thin 5'3" woman, and then they could have like a 6'6", small forward in the NBA, 230-pound that looks like Giannis Antetokounmpo, even though he's like 6'11", but you get the point here. Like sometimes things don't always make sense. Sometimes there are some gaps in this gene pool or whatever. But for some reason when I see a dog and a cat, like it's weird, like cats when they mate and they create a baby, it's like, they'll have like the color, like if a gray, let's just keep it simple. If a full gray cat mates with a full white cat, the little cat they'll have like a white ring around the eyes, but gray in the forehead. And then have like a weird color in the stomach, and the colors and spots and lines, it's like all like scattered throughout, but with some pattern. And it's not the same. Like it's not the same pattern with all, like we're typically like if a Latina and a Hispanic, or if a Latina and an Asian guy have a kid, if it's the same like a woman, Latina, Asian guy, if you take like 10 couples with that same scenario, typically if they each have one kid, the skin color of the kid is going to be relatively the same if all things bear equal. Where cats, like, it makes no sense. You can have 10 cat couples where one cat's one color and the other cat's the other color. All 10 couples. And all the cats will come out with these weird stripes and zigs and zags. One in the eyebrow, one in the tail. One tail will be different. One like a cheekbone will be different. One will meow like this. One will have a bow leg. Like all this shit doesn't make sense. I don't understand genes. I don't understand genetics. I don't understand mating in the animal kingdom. I know Carl Linnaeus taxonomy, and that's about it. Okay? But all cats can fit in? Baskets at the grocery store. That'd be so wild if you're just walking around a grocery store, you just see if you just see a lady or weirder, if you just see a guy with a cat in the basket. What if they had a cart and they carried a basket around like a purse? Like they just had a purse around the forearm and they just have their cat hanging in there. Like, is someone gonna say something? Like, hey, this person has a cat in a basket. What's going on here? It'd be like that Tom and Jerry meme where Tom is like, and his eyes are like ripped out of his mind. It kind of looks like from being stoned. But yeah, it is the yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I was dog called. And I guess you could say I have a dog in this fight. And the fight is getting that pussy. I'm gonna go by there. You know, I'm probably gonna have to walk tomorrow if they finally figure out what the fuck to do with my car or not. But yeah, good times. Good times. I've said good times a lot on this pod. Let's see. Well, what stories we got today? Excuse the pause. Just kind of. I was thinking because I've been naturally, and I wonder if I literally just thought of this. This is not like a note I had on my phone. But I wonder, well, there's no wonder. It's more of like my observation of what I think. I really do believe, based off my recent gravitational pull to watching certain videos on YouTube recently that has had to do with my lifestyle changes. I'm not going to continue talking about my lifestyle changes. That's not what I want to continue talking about here. But I'm going to use that as an example of that. I feel like, it's kind of like you are what you eat. And typically what you're attracted to in terms of stuff that you voluntarily watch has to do with your interests of changes you made in your life. So since I've been, I'm not even like training. I'm not even like bodybuilding, nothing like that. I'm just working out, exercising and shit. And I've noticed I've been watching a lot of videos from the Greg Doucette's, the More Plates, More Dates, this guy named Philion. I've been just kind of cycling through these videos from these YouTubers who have these pretty big channels where they kind of talk about fitness and stuff. And I've been really, I went through a binge today where they were talking about natty or not. Where basically they're talking about, are these actors, like they went through Kamali Nanjiani. And they all cover the same, they do their own videos of the same people. And I watch videos from all of them of the same people. Obviously, Kamali Nanjiani, his workouts are just weird as fuck. Like, you're electrocuting your biceps, vibrating on the cable cords, and you're just sitting there doing the curls and shit just to get a pump. It's like respect for the way you look and shit, but it's just weird. Like, when you start gonna hook up shit that you have to go to the doctor's office to get a little pump, it's like, I don't know, that it doesn't even seem like it's working out at that point. But yeah, of course, Chris Hemsworth for Thor. One of them covered Mark Wahlberg. A few, basically all the main actors. Michael B. Jordan, for example. And they basically go through the process of, are they natty or not? And most conclusion for most of them is that they're not. And I don't know why, because I honestly it doesn't even bother me if you find out someone's not natural. Honestly, I could care less, but there's an entertainment interest about it when you are actually actively in the mindset of working out, exercising and shit. And you're watching all these videos and you're like, the starting point for a lot of these guys like Michael B. Jordan, Chris Hemsworth was a very similar body type of where I'm at. at certain ages and shit, right? And you start to think like, could I look like Thor if I really did like his workout? Which, if you just did his workout what he tells you to do, it's not crazy in terms of what you have to do. You just have to do it, and it's hard as fuck. But it's nothing like that insane. Like, he's not doing any crazy exercises that you need like a $8,000 gym for. And Michael B. Jordan, he went from Creed 1, where he obviously worked out, got in boxing shape, and then Creed 2, he took it to another level. And for Black Panther Killmonger, he hit that chest press. Or as they call trenbolone sandwiches. And basically the assumption is that all these guys are on something because of the rapid, constant weight fluctuation they do in between roles. So they kind of have to if they want to do anything other than that. Because it's a heavy commitment to be as big as Thor when you aren't naturally 250 pounds walking around type of shit. So I get it, right? Oh, and they also did Jason Momoa. And one guy based Jason Momoa is that he's actually natural because, his starting frame and all this shit. But I guess what I'm getting into is I don't really care if any of them are natural or not. But when you work out, actively working out, it's a fascinating thing of what would it take for me to go there? If I cared that much about getting that big. Now, you obviously, look, I'll be straight up with you. If some movie studio said, here, we're going to make you Marvel superhero, or for this movie role, we're going to pay you, let's just say $10 million. We're going to get you a trainer and all this shit. And he has 6 months to gain 30 pounds of muscle, do whatever. We're going to give you a trainer and we're going to give you a doctor. And we're not going to tell you to take something. But whatever the doctor prescribes, we recommend you take. You know what I'm probably going to do? I'm probably going to do whatever the doctor recommends. All right? You get that Alex Rodriguez, whoever his drug dealer was during the whole steroids thing that he denied until basically went in front of a jury. He's like, well, yeah, actually, I do know the guy. It's like, all right, dude. Was it Anthony Bosch or whatever? But yeah, look, if I had Anthony Bosch as my Hollywood TRT or steroid, you know what? And I know the side effects of shit, but for $10 million and to be the face of a movie, a franchise that's going to make you more money just by being a part of it, whatever the fuck. And by the way, these guys are getting paid more than $10 million. But you get what I'm trying to say here. It's like, yeah, I probably would do it. And I wouldn't even feel guilty about it per se. Because at the end of the day, it is just a movie. I think the thing with the steroids and natty and stuff, the fascination with it is more of course, with sports. Because there's actual physical competition. That the advantage of you being physically superior unnaturally actually affects the bottom line. Affects money. It can affect how much money you make by lying and cheating. It can affect other players and how much they can make and shit because you're making them look worse because you're cheating and shit. And it just, it lacks the, not to get corny here, but the integrity, the level playing field. And that shit does matter when you want respect as a sport. The only reason why the 4 main professional sports are taken serious is because there are drug testing. Because there are, even though there's always going to be people that find loopholes through the system and get away with shit, for the most part, you're not just openly out here taking steroids. This isn't WWE. The UFC is only been taken serious past 10, 15, 20 years because there's a commission that has to sanction fights, weight classes, steroids, drugs, all this shit that you have to do. They check your levels for every single fight just to make sure that, hey, is this person fighting reasonably clean? And that's what brings integrity to the sport. And that's the only way you can take these sports serious. But for a movie, who gives a fuck? It's just to look a certain way. It's just the aesthetic. And for me, I was saying, like, I would never get on anything. Like, it took me forever to get back on pre-workout. I don't even take creatine or weight or none of that shit. Because really, I've never had a problem gaining. And I learned a new term today called endomorph. I think it's endomorph. Where your body, certain people have a body, I think this is me, where as much as people that can gain muscle but gain fat really fast, like you hear the stories about people that struggle gaining weight and struggle keeping weight on, and that's like a whole different term. That's a whole different thing. But people that can gain 50 pounds in 3 months binge eating and shit because their body can just gain weight so quickly. Their body's like in a constant fluctuation. I think it's called endomorph is what Greg Doucette said. Where as much as you can gain fat fast, they can also, if on a decent diet and training and stuff, they can gain a lot of muscle faster, just as fast as the average counterpart who can't do that the same way. And I think that's what I have, because I can put on muscle, but I can also lose a lot of fucking weight if I really train and do the right things. But, I've had a more hard time maintaining a weight level than gaining. Like, it's fun putting on, well, I wouldn't say it's always fun putting on muscle, but it's funner to see your body change and gains and stronger. And it's easy to lose weight. Well, easy relatively. It's easy to lose weight when you know what to do and you high intensity. It's that maintaining area that keeps it hard for, us endomorphs. But I guess the main thing when I'm thinking about all this stuff is when I'm watching these videos, the recent gravitation has to do, obviously, because the past month and a half or two, I have seen more growth from a leanness, strong, pure strength standpoint the past 2 months. The past a month and a half that I've truly been back in the gym, when I was in the gym for over a year and a half or two, that's not even exaggerating, is I have seen more growth and rapid pace of growth than I did in the previous, 8 to 9 years of being off and on with inconsistent weight training. Like, there's something just like, it's weird how sometimes it takes so long just for things to click. Because you can always work hard in the gym, but the main thing is you can't. Sounds corny, but for most people, you can't out-train a bad diet. And it finally took me recently to figure out how to actually eat right for what I am doing. And it takes a long time sometimes to figure out this shit. And I think because when you start figuring things out yourself by trial and error, you become more fascinated. And in my case, I've become more fascinated with watching the more extreme success, high-level stuff, even if I'm not really that obsessed with training or lifting or body stuff. Like, I don't take pictures of myself like that. But to watch these videos and to watch these channels, to really get deep into the science of it, it is fascinating. Even stuff that's out of my depth, even stuff that I'm never really going to have to worry about until I'm like 40s or 50s when it comes to testosterone, possible injections type of shit. That's not something I have to think about in the near future. But, like, what if someone with normal testosterone, like, what if I were to take testosterone TRT now? Like, I think about, what if I did that shit? How fucking ripped and strong would I be? With my work ethic in the gym, it would be pretty fucking nice. But do I really want to do that just to get slightly bigger? Not really. But when you watch these channels, you learn more about the type of person that could go down this rabbit hole, becoming so obsessed with just getting big and strong, just to get big and strong. And it could kind of be sad from afar, and not with the celebrities specifically, but when you see like the obsession with bodybuilders, or people that are just really obsessed with working out all the time, it kind of makes me take a step back. Like, whoa, hey, I know I've been working hard, consistent at this shit, but when I watch these videos, I see what happens when people become so obsessed that this becomes their life. And I sometimes have to stop myself, because I'm like, is this becoming too time consuming? Is this becoming too much of who I am? But then I look in the mirror and I'm like, you are what you put your time in. But the main point, I started this whole rant about whatever. Like, this whole starting point had nothing really. It has to do with, I wonder if the stuff you gravitate to from a visual entertainment standpoint has a lot to do with what you, like, it seems like I literally watch what I embody, at least on a smaller scale in real life. Like, I remember back when I first started this pod, I was really into a lot of, trying to think. I was really into a lot of comedy podcasts, right? And I noticed I haven't really listened to a lot of comedy podcasts over the past month or two. I noticed I've kind of dwindled away from them. And it's not that I don't enjoy them at all or nothing. It's just my natural instincts of what I'm kind of gravitating to is just different to what I'm doing. When I was pretty overweight, unhealthy and stuff, comedy and shit, like, it's a way to, when you're tired, like, get a laugh out, right? It's like when you're full of energy and stuff, you kind of have this high propensity to want to learn more and be more interested in shit. And this is probably when I talk about how I've changed in a lot of ways before. Jeez, here I am talking about myself, but I think it's a relatable thing. That's why I'm willing to get into it. Is I've noticed, like, the stuff I listen to, even the music I listen to, I still listen to a lot of the same music, but there's artists that I would listen to obsessively. Now, like, I don't even care to really, like, this music's played out. I actually, sometimes when you have a clearer head and you're more physically better about yourself, you actually look at an artist's personal flaws as a person and really what they're putting in their music, and it kind of makes you unlikable. It doesn't make you not like them, but kind of makes you unattracted to them to listen to their music, because you see, like, oh, this is a person with a very cynical point of view in this first person. The whole world's about them and has no awareness of how they kind of come off. I've kind of done that with some artists as an example. And I think it's been like that with my interests in what I decide to consume as my entertainment. The only thing that's still kind of the same is that I will still catch some Joe Rogan episodes, but only when it's with a guest that I kind of already know. I'm not really willing to give 3 hours of my time to a guest I don't really know. That's the honest truth. And I may give like a first 10-minute listen, and if I just don't like the way someone talks, if they're just boring, slow, I may not. And I have every right to do that. But I'm becoming more selective as also I just don't have as much time. So I have to be more selective, and I think you become more instinctively selective in what you do. You become more valuable with your time because you simply just don't have that much. Not saying I don't have free time, but I don't have time to sit there and listen to 2-3 hour podcasts in a day. Like it could take me 3 or 4 days to do a podcast now, to listen to one. I'm a busy individual, And when things like that change, I think things of your interests, you become a little bit more selective. And I don't even want to use the word picky, because it's not that you don't enjoy the things anymore, but you certainly have this clock in your head that not everything has to be listened to that you may want to listen to. Because there's a lot of fucking shit out there, including me. And yeah, it's more of a curious thing. I just wonder. I notice I'm getting a lot. There's also this YouTuber named Captain Sinbad. And to see him talk about, a lot of his videos have to do a lot with kind of life philosophy in some way, but very specific problems that people of age of trying to become successful at something and the realities and shit. Like, he does a lot of good videos, but he also kind of does this podcast with someone on his channel called Becoming the Killer Podcast. And I listened to an episode about some, and as much as self-help is it's one of those good intention ones, but it comes off as very shallow and ineffective, as he stated, because they were talking about it in their show, and it clarified what I already felt about self-help, but I needed someone to put in words for it to actually make sense, because I wouldn't know how to put in words of what I feel about self-help guru type of shit. Is that the problem isn't the intention and shit. The problem is it tells you all the things to look out for, but it doesn't tell you what tactics, the tactical plan you have to do to get wellness in whatever area, and meditation and all this shit. Like, what do you have to do to achieve those tactical things? And so, yeah, I've really noticed, like, am I becoming a boring person? And then I listen to my podcast, like, nah, I'm a pretty funny guy. Honestly, I think because I watch more serious and shit when I do this show, I'm much more balanced. I feel like I actually say shit. I actually have something to talk about. So yeah. These fucking ego maniacs. These iPhone ego maniacs. I've seen these iPhone egomaniacs. Like, if you don't have an iPhone and someone with the iPhone comes up to you, they treat you like a stereotypical Beverly Hills white chick off the movie would treat a homeless person. They treat you like you're committing rape in front of them. Ah, shit, I just fucked up the algorithm. But that's what they treat you like. Doo-doo. That's episode 154 of the Off and Beat podcast. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, but most importantly, suck some titties. And have a great day.